that bad. I'll do my phone. I need to charge this. I'll charge it a little bit. I'm gonna see who's up, y'all. Let me turn this off so I don't move anything. Yeah, I guess I do need it on. Let me put that back on. I don't know who's in, but I'm just waiting to see. Oh Lord. Happy 4th of July, people. See what y'all doing. Most of y'all probably eating or barbecuing or sleeping. I don't know which one. I'm in the room right now. I don't know what to talk about today. There's a lot going on. I got out today and had sushi. Hey, Tiffany, what's up? Hey, Jay, what's up, man? Y'all being blessed? Hey, J80. I love my Jay. Jay come in with this. He said, good evening, saints. Look, we gonna say good evening, saints, ain'ts, should be. Get it right. You know, like I know. Matter of fact, today I started listening to Dr. David Jeremiah. He got a new book out, and I got it on Audible, and it's on. Hold on, y'all. I don't want to lie on it because I sent it out to my group too. Because it's look, and not that I fell asleep because it was bad, but I like to look. I'm starting to listen to things. Um, I'm happy you could catch me too, Tiffany. Um, I'm on the laptop, so I had to get my other laptop is dismantled right now. I need to put memory in it, but I've been having problems with it. And I just started class at Grand Canyon University, which is a Christian university, on Monday. So I'm in my first class. I got assignment. I think I'm up to date on all my assignments. I've been really kind of like every night when I get off work, I do at least two. We have to have what we call participatory interactions. So I have to go do and write up at least 75 words or more and in the discussion. So I've been going in almost every night and doing at least two things. And then on Wednesday, the goal is Wednesday only to get out the house and go to one of the open air coffee houses because again, y'all know me and COVID, or sit on the patio. And I do homework there. So I've done my homework there, but it was actually Wednesday and Thursday, just kind of getting caught up and getting used to everything. So it is a Christian university, and my degree is going to be Christian studies with an emphasis on the Bible, so biblical focus, and it's their theology. That's their undergraduate theology program. So that's where I'm starting at. So the first class we have is really it's gearing you up for yeah, I'm still working too. Y'all be praying for that because I'm looking for something that's probably going to align a little bit better with school. And the company that I'm at, they had a big layoff. The friend of mine who referred me in, she was laid off. So I have some concerns. And then they moved me to this new team, and I just stay in my shell. Because the day that the whole layoff happened, I moved over to this new guy. Next day, I got all these weird error messages that I was like, whoa. So now I'm reading everything, and now they got us trying to speed up productivity because they don't really want to pay the overtime. And I get it. It's the way they do their business. Everybody has their own business models. Um, but I do have concerns because it's an industry with where things are economically, I don't know how well they're doing. Um, I have a feeling based on stock price because again, my background was at Schwab for years. Also, the layoffs did not pan well for them. And not only I think did they lose people in the layoffs, they also, hey Rochelle, what's up, baby? They also they also lost people because of how the layoffs were handled and other things that are taking place. And folks is like, I'm out because it's not what it's no longer what was presented. They're doing something different. And for the young folks, they want a certain way to do business. For me, let me do my job and just leave me alone. Just let me go in my corner. And if I'm producing, leave me alone. If I'm not producing, then you have the things you're going to do. I already get that. Also, I really like work from home, so I may do that. If I have to leave this house, the only thing I would probably go into, and not transportation trucking, is transportation buses, because with the bus you can have open air because they have windows all on the bus. You're right by the driver's side. They have air, or work in an environment that gives me that option. Those are the only two things I would do if I had to leave out of here. But right now, just because of the underlying health issue, I'm looking for stuff that's mainly work from home permanent. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is just looking for that. I'm not. So as soon as I can find something that's permanent work from home, that's really what I'm looking for. It has become a lot harder because if you guys don't know, a lot of companies are now doing hiring freezes. Um, because I did have an interview with an HR related company for a position, and during the I went to the interview, well, on virtual interview, and it was supposed to be a phone interview. And when I met the first lady, there was supposed to be two people in my interview with me. First lady and me, we chopping it up, and then she says, let me check and find out what's going on with this other person. And then she reaches out to her, and I guess there had been some new communication. They put all the jobs on freeze. The one that I had that I was interviewing for, she says, I'm sorry, I'm just getting this now. She said, ma'am, they just pulled this and several other jobs off our site. But she didn't say freeze, but I knew what was going on because when she said several other sites, I'm like, okay, y'all going in freeze. And I knew somebody who had just got hired with them a month before, and I don't know if she's still gonna have it. And then one of the girls that I work with that was in my training with me, she was supposed to be leaving to go to a mortgage company, and just got the notice that they are doing a hiring freeze too. Hey Timmy, what's up, baby? Welcome to the channel. Welcome. And that they're doing a hiring freeze as well. So you gotta, so when you're out here searching, don't get me wrong, there's still jobs. The work from home jobs are going to be harder to get, um, and because a lot of the companies are trying to bridge back into normal as if COVID no longer exists. But I got family in healthcare, and I'm gonna tell you, COVID is still alive extremely well. And like I told you guys, I've got a lot of under health, and not only because of my obesity. Even if I wasn't obese, the biggest underlying health issue that has impacted my family line on Grumpy side was our blood clotting disorder. So I've had, I don't even know how many pulmonary embolisms. And even when they did the ultrasound to find the two hernias that I was dealing with, I had damage to the lung. So they had mentioned that they saw something on my lung. Well, yeah, of course, I've had several pulmonary embolisms. I've had multiple DVTs. My cousin Lynette, who died, they had to put a filter in for her. I think she started having her blood clotting disorder in high school. Her mother, which was the first one I knew of on my father's side, her mother had an aneurysm. So she had the clot that went to the brain, and they had to go in and get the clots out. And then she lost vision in one eye. So she could only see out of one of her eyes due to the clot. So if I get any issues with COVID, it's a bad doggone day. Timmy, I just talked, I had a customer I talked to for the company I work for, and it was really a blessing talking to her. I'm looking at the gastric sleeve as well. Me and my doctor met a few weeks back. I will be doing that. And what I found out is the lady I talked to through the company I work for, she said she just got on surgery. I said, okay, ma'am, I hope you're okay. I'm sincere. I like to treat people like people. I don't, whatever job I do, I just want to treat people. And the older you get, you're more like that. I'm not fake and phony. I'm just, I want to treat you like people and Christian. So, I pray that everything's okay with you. So we were talking, and she's very nice, and she had just had the weight loss. So she did the full gastric bypass. But she said they repaired her hernias, which is what the general surgeon told me, that if I do the weight loss surgery, oftentimes they will repair the hernias at the same time of doing the weight loss surgery. So yes, I'm leaning towards the sleeve and not the full gastric, because I've heard not good things on the full gastric. Not saying it don't do its job, but I've heard a lot of heavy side effects. Whereas my brother and my niece did the sleeve, and they're doing very well. I wanted the lap band, but I guess the insurance companies aren't covering the lap band because they look at it as a temporary form of weight loss, which I don't even know why that is. Because you have to, Well, I guess I could see because you have to go in and get it filled all the time, and if you don't get it filled, then it doesn't serve a purpose. So I guess I could see it, but Trucker Bill did good with his, so I was good on that. Um, oh, but the book I was gonna tell you the book I was reading, so or listening to. So I downloaded Dr. Jeremiah's part of. An Audible user. Y'all don't think about doing some Audible podcast. Hold on a second. It's called After the Rapture, and it's let me see when did he? Hold on for a second. Let me see when this came out. Y'all hold on. Let me see title details. Hold on, y'all. Release was June 7th, so of this month. So he just released it, and it's called After the Rapture, and it's actually pretty good. Is he the one reading it? Let me see if he's the one reading it. It sounds like him. No, it's Tommy Cross Cresswell. I don't know who that is, but anyway, it's about 5 hours 4 minutes. I started listening to. It's actually good. I listened to it up until I fell asleep last night. I started it this morning when I woke up, and then I shared it out. I'm gonna let you guys know. Good book, very good book. Yeah, no, well, I'm not in trucking anymore. And thank you for watching. I got out of trucking. If, like I said, if I go back into transportation for any reason, if I have to get back out there, I probably will do bus. I don't want anything to do with the trucking industry unless I absolutely have to. I can't. Unless you own your own truck, I can't do the whole trucking company thing. It's madness, especially after working in the office and seeing all of that madness, working in the truck and receiving, and now understanding why you got the madness on that end of it. Because if you see the background of it, you understand how it translates down to the truck. Crap always rolls downhill. That's just all I can tell you. I don't know. I don't know if the bus industry, if I can get into it, if that'll be any different. But it's local. I'm in my own bed. I can go and leave as I please. Um, so I don't. I can come home. I'm not stuck in a truck in the middle of nowhere. I'm not worried about all that madness, drama, breakdowns. If it break down here, I'm local to home. And if they have to tow it somewhere, cool. But I'm not sitting on the side of a road out in Timbuktu. I don't want to do school bus. It would be city bus mainly if I did bus. And I don't know if I'm going to drive or if I want to work in the office. I'm seeing what's on the plate right now. I'm looking at a lot of options. Um, right now because like I said, my main thing is the company I'm with. I know they're getting ready to tell these people to go back in there. They don't require masks, they don't require proof of vaccination. So you got people up in there. My One of my friends, her cousin works for the company I'm with in a different department, and the girl don't believe in vaccines. So you one of them, God forgive me for those who may believe this, you an incubator. So you incubating the virus, and then next thing I know, we got some other what is it, variants. And yeah, I can't. And I'm not saying if you work for but with the bus, at least the thing is, if you studied COVID, the really big deal um the really big deal with studying COVID was, and I'll get to that in a minute, Timmy. The big deal with studying COVID was that open air. So a lot of times, if I call restaurants, I'm like, I want to get sushi today. Do you have an outdoor patio, or is the interior of your restaurant have open door, or do you have like windows or something open? The air circulating around. If somebody has COVID in there, you got more susceptibility to get it. Whereas if it has open air to go in and out, you're getting fresh air, and that stuff is just not circulating. Now I am vaccinated. I just got my fourth booster, the fourth shot, a couple weeks ago. But I am cautious. My groceries were delivered from Costco yesterday, and I had another delivery today of some groceries from a grocery store here, Fry's. I did two grocery orders, and I yeah, I don't trust none. I'm, I'm very cautious, and I got out the house. Like I said, I wanted to get some sushi. I call restaurants before I go. I was like, okay, otherwise I'll come pick it up or I'll have it delivered through Grubhub. But I wanted to get out the house a little bit. So if they have a patio, I'll go that. Or if they have open air seating where there's inside the restaurant, you still have the cool air, but it's circulating indoor, outdoor. I'll do that. That's about the risk of me. But going into a building where everybody, these babies ain't wearing masks, you don't know who's vaccinated. No, I can't. My friend, she just got a job, and that was one of her. Well, she's worked from home, but that was one of her big deals in the company she works for. This dude is charging $100 a month if you don't have your vaccine, and if you smoke, he charges, I think it's $50. Oh, I can't remember. It's vice versa. It's 50 for one, 100 for another, and it lessens your payroll, every payroll, if you smoke or if you do that. Rochelle, we on the same page, baby. I can't. Well, I hate Walmart in general, and like I was struggling today because I needed something, and I do need to go to Walmart, and I was really struggling, and I was like, yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna order it. It was actually, so I was ordering some soap, and it's $3 more through the Instacart grocery store I went through than Walmart, and I was like, that $3 is worth my patience, and it's worth me not risking going into the other COVID central, because Walmart probably is straight up COVID central. I'm masked. I'm always masked. But I'm going to tell you again, the mask has a stronger protection for other people. So if other folks ain't masked, even though you're masked, your risk levels go up. Yours helps, but it is really what goes out this way. So it can filter, that crap can filter through that mask, especially the surgical mask. Um, Unless I mean, you can try the N95s, but that's not even 100%. It's that's why you had folks up in the hospitals getting COVID, even though they were masked up, looking like they were going to a hazmat party. They some of them was still getting Timmy, thank you for that. Aspects of transportation I really did like. I like training. I did like training if you get trainees who want to train. And it's a different breed of human. Folks, I want to do what I want to do, even in training. So like when I trained, even when I had to go back through retraining because I had been off the road, the gentleman who trained me, I asked his permission to use my cell phone. I was like, if I be sitting in the side seat because I'm learning, and I would tell him, I said, at this time I need to make a call to check on something. Are you okay with that? Because to me that's respectful, but also you shouldn't be on the cell phone. These folks nowadays, they don't care. It's like the little African chick I had. I told her, I said, you told me when you got on here you're not a cell phone user. You've been on your cell phone every time. Every time you switch into that seat, you on a cell phone. So you're not paying attention to what I'm doing. And she know how to drive. You roll backwards down Raton. You breathing like you're having a baby when you make a turn. You don't know how to drive. And you're not paying attention, and you're on your cell phone with your niece and whatever the hell else you got going on. If you're gonna do this, you got to pay attention out here. This is dangerous out here. You'll kill somebody out here if you don't know what you're doing. And she had to get off the truck. Then I had, even though he had experience, he almost ran over two people because he couldn't stay focused on his job because he was too worried about his chick back home that was married to some old man and that madness. And then I had the was it the felon dude. He wanted me just to sign off on him because all his other buddies at the company was at day traders were signing off on him. My ninja, you can't even back this truck going straight up and straight back into this dock. Your bumpers ain't even on the dock. Cockeyed. So yeah. And then the diversity of the trucking companies, like I went to one and I was hoping internally, um, I was like, cool. The job itself, I liked. It was the people that were just toxic and weird. And it's funny because my friend Regina, who tried to come down and work for the same company, and they even wanted her to come back and work from home out of Vegas. And she had interacted with an HR chicks that was very bizarre. When she told me what happened, I couldn't even be shocked. I couldn't be shocked because the behaviors overall were strange. And she said, Shannon, the job is not hard. She said, it's them people. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them people? You had a lot of racism. You had a lot of politics. You had a lot of, what's the word I wanted to use? Just behaviors that were unethical and unprofessional. And it's a standard now, I think, in a lot of industries. They're just odd. And it may be just the new generation of human. I don't know. But there's stuff that we wouldn't have ever, in my earlier days, you just didn't talk about politics in the office. You didn't even post political stuff in the office. The most you ever saw was, I voted today. You're an American citizen. You voted. Praise God. You did good. That was it. You didn't discuss your politics. You didn't discuss your geopolitical views. You didn't discuss your racial views, you didn't discuss that because it was not a proper thing in the office to discuss. Um, it's going out. It's a different generation of folks because they weren't raised, and it's sad because it's our fault. It is. It actually comes down to, like I said, everything when started going down hell in a handbasket with my father's generation, with the free love, peace movement, the Vietnam, that baby boomer generation. It went to hell in a handbasket. It did. Everything went to hell in a handbasket. And Tiffany, you are 100% right. They are different. Um, let's see here. But thank you, Timmy, for the compliment on being in transportation. Yeah, I liked a lot of it. I really did. And that's what I said. The bus company would be okay, I think, because it's union, number one. I put in for something that has some training to it. I think you would train us. I don't know if I'll hear from them. Um, it's an option, but I am considering driving the bus. It's a pay cut in a sense, but it's union, so you have someone representing you, which I like. Um, they are doing a sign-on bonus. I don't always buy sign-on bonuses because I think it's janky. I'd seen their job posting several weeks back. They were doing an open hire for drivers, and it was top pay was 17 an hour, right? Then all of a sudden, this last weekend, they posted a new posting, and they dropped it to, I think it's 16.95 an hour and a $15 sign-on bonus. So I guess, okay, we're gonna drop it because now we're gonna pay y'all a sign-on bonus. And I don't know when you get that sign-on bonus because I don't ever always believe sign-on bonuses, especially in trucking. They tell you sign-on bonuses, and they make it so that they're impossible really to get. So yeah, I don't necessarily believe in that. Um, Today though, I got out, like I said, I ordered it, just did an order. She just delivered it. It was only like 4 bags, y'all. 4 bags, almost $50. And the money right now too for groceries, y'all. And I can't stress this more to you. And it's funny because when I was listening to Dr. David Jeremiah, and I've been listening to other Christian shows on talking about the events and the times that we're in. So you have those ministers right now that are your cheerleader ministers. They're telling you you're going to be an executive and you're a winner and you're a champion and you're a mogul, and they're telling you all the, what I want to call it, motivational stuff. But I appreciate ministers like Jeremiah because to me, I'm like sitting here going, are you in the same time zone I'm in right now, spiritually? Are you somewhere else? Because, and granted, I can't, God calls folks to do what they do. So maybe that's what they're called to do. But I'm having a struggle right now because the Holy Spirit of God to me should be impressing on most Christians who are Christian, not the ones who say they're Christian. I'm talking about Christians, that we are in a unique time in history and prophetically, and everything going on right now. I need somebody to help me. It's stage set, everything. By the way, y'all, like, thumbs up, share it out if it bless somebody. But everything to me going on right now is um we're here. I like I said, I'm waiting for the whole rapture thing. Because I'm just like, I don't know what else to tell you. There's things, and like I said, I read Revelation when I was a kid, and the book of Revelation, and I read it when I was 10 years old. And it's funny because when I'm listening to this audio book by him, he talks about the movie that made me read the book, which is The Omen. So when I was a kid, I saw The Omen, and I'm one of the people, I'm analytical and I'm curious. So in the book, it talked about 666. Now, I've always loved God since I was a kid. I went to church with Grumpy's mom, my grandmother, and my mother's mother too. But the biggest influence was Grumpy's mom. She was massively Christian and very dedicated missionary. She was more involved to me with church than my mother's mother. Even though with my mother's mother, we went to church on Sunday. Okay, when I was there with that grandma. But with my other grandma, I went to Sunday school, Starlight Band, I was there with the missionaries because whatever she went to and any child thing, I was involved in at my grandma's church. I did the Easter thing with the speak. I did all that. So church was something that was always something for me as a child, which I thank God for because some of the things I went through as a child that would push me or try to draw me out, and I know spiritually now, the demonic forces behind everything that tried to draw me out and pull me away. Because of that foundation, I was able to eventually be where I'm at today. Granted, I have my ups, my downs, my struggles. We all do, right? But I tell you, what I'm seeing today after reading Revelation, and then he brought something up in the book of Revelation, because there's a part in one of the scriptures where it talks about a famine coming, and it says, don't touch the wine or some of the other things, but it also talks about how much you have to pay for food. And that is where people are going to first have the biggest struggle with food. And the famine initially is not necessarily going to be on availability of products. That's going to come too. It's going to be based on your economic situation and being able to afford food. And I do believe the economic crisis that is already in the horizon, we already have the inflation issue, and we're already in a recession, even though they don't want to call it that, and we're heading towards possibly a depression. Those things right now, the cost of gas, the cost of fuel. So people even getting back and forth to a job, that's going to be, so like these companies want you to call you back, homie, it's $5 to $7 a gallon depending on where you at. And you want me to drive to you? On top of that, now you want me to come into COVID Central. I got to get on a bus, which also might, if I can't afford to drive my car, and if I'm not close, I may have to get on a bus and be in more COVID because again, they don't have to prove anything. I don't know if the federal government lifted the mandate on that as far as wearing masks, and that might even be state controlled. Okay. So now I can get on public transit probably without a mask. You got people from all different walks of life, some who didn't even have the education to go get vaccinated. A lot of what I've been seeing lately, just even thank God I got the little bucket right now, but even driving and you see the people for the transit, a lot of homeless, a lot of mentally disturbed. You're seeing a lot of stuff, and it's becoming increasing, and especially in the homeless category. Right now, the grocery store up the street here, where I sometimes have to go get a money order or something like that, or when I'm out to get my booster, there's a black guy that sits out there, and I don't know if he's a veteran or what. He plays his saxophone outside in order to earn extra money. Guys, let me help you. Here in Arizona, the temperatures are 115 degrees. It's hot as hell in Arizona. Okay, it can be upwards of that. We've had one of our hottest days was 116 degrees. This brother's out there trying to make extra money. Then there was a kid out there. Was he saxophone? He was playing sax on the corner over here with no tent. At least this other guy, the old man, he got one of little pop-up tents, and he sits out there and play, and people stop and give him dollars. This tells you the times when things are tough. And that's why right now I have to look at the whole picture of this company I'm with. I think the idea of the company is genius. I actually think it's absolutely genius. I think some of the management style of stuff not been so good, but the overall premise of the product, and how they get there, oh, a genius. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons when my friend referred me, I was like, oh yeah, I'm on my way. Because I told her, I said, when I saw this years ago, I was like, that is freaking genius. It's just genius. But other stuff right now, I'm not salesy. That's kind of a little bit part of it. I'm more educational type. Sales has never been my forte. Um, the position is more, it was really advertised more as a financial position, but then once you got in there, you found it's got an underlying tone of sales, and not my forte. Um, then it almost feels like, she said it almost felt like she'd been there for 3 years, and and all of a sudden it just felt like they were nitpicking, just finding stuff. I said, right. And that's it. I want to come in. I want to do my job. I want you to leave me alone. Let me do my job. Leave me alone. Um, and you can rate well in a lot of areas, but if you're low in one area, then they ride, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, this is, I'm not. It's irritating. Micromanaging too, very micromanaging. So I'm praying on that because ultimately, when you drive, just drive and leave me alone. So that's why I say the bus company is on the radar, and my prayer has been, Lord, just open whatever door that's best, And when you open it, I'm gonna trust you. If it's not best, then you close it. Just like that human resource thing I was supposed to interview for, and then everything. And because my prayer was, Lord, direct me where I'm supposed to be. Um, that's my main thing, and something that works in conjunction with school. If I could just go for school full time, that's what I would do. If the funds ever came to where I could do that, that's what I would do. Because I'm getting older, and ultimately, if the planet is around, or if we're here long enough, I think it's a 3-year program for me to get my bachelor's, and then I could apply to be a chaplain, and that's probably what I'll do in my old age if we're still here. But based on what I'm seeing, I don't even know, because things are in the next few years. It's gonna, if we got the next few years, it's things are gonna get really interesting. But I was listening to that book, and he said, "Don't touch the one." And I was laughing because I'm thinking I read Revelation when I was 9 years old, and it's one of those scriptures that really never stood out to me. I knew it was one of the judgments, but when it talked about the famine that was coming, and what we're doing right now is we're seeing a prelude to all of this, and people are just sitting in delusion. So I tell people, and I know it sounds like, okay, some people, oh, I'm just trusting God. I don't know if you need to stock up. Can you go back to the story of Joseph? Joseph, for me, y'all need to go look at that story of Joseph. Go read Joseph and come back and talk to me. Joseph interpreted a dream about famine. As I told most of my people, I've had dreams on several different fronts that not shared here, but in my Christian background. I had a dream about planes, and we're seeing something with the plane industry right now. I saw a bunch of planes that were just sitting on a thing. I was in the dream. I was in New York, and something about going to the city of New York, and then all of a sudden there was something about don't go to the city for whatever reason, and then next thing I know, I'm in the dream with planes, and I'm trying to get on this plane, and all these planes are just sitting on this runway, and I'm like, this is really weird, and they're just sitting, and we got a whole bunch of stuff going on in the plane industry. I had a dream about me and my mom taking out a chicken to the trash, a whole chicken. It didn't look like nothing was wrong with it, but it was a raw chicken, and she got one leg, and I'm like, what is this? And we both cook, so I'm thinking, okay, something's up with food, and now we got the bird flu, and we got chicken prices through the roof. Um, what's the other one? And then I started having other dreams about food. I had just different dreams that I was sharing with them with food. I had dreams about, I believe, that were indicating that storm that happened in Texas. I had shared that with some people, and about food with that. Um, but I believe you should use wisdom. And as soon as I started having those dreams, I reached out to people that I feel led to reach out to, and I said, you need to stock canned goods, you need to stock water, even Grumpy. And I said, something's coming. You need to get dry goods, beans, and rice, because whatever's coming is gonna be bad. Now he wasn't managing his money right, and I didn't know he had started doing it. He was like begging one of the ladies from the church to cook food for him. I didn't know, and when she told me some of the stuff, my heart broke, because this lady is she's on Social Security. B, I think she gets, if I remember, she gets public assistance for food. And granted, she's always been with this. She's related to Danielle. She's always been just one of them church sisters. Remind me a lot of Monty's grandmother, Monty's mom, my grandmother. She don't, my grandmother didn't have a lot of money. She cleaned. She was one of them help. So she went to the, white folks' place, the old people, and cleaned for them, and would walk home from what they call it, the tower. And she would have clients there. She would clean up for, and I don't know. I think probably cook for them too. And she didn't make a lot of money, but if you needed to eat, she always had food because she's a depressionary person. And she would wash her tinfoil and wash her Ziploc bags. Um, I know that sounds weird, but that's what they did in order to make it. And so we got a lot of people who are sitting up here, and I hear these Christian folks, oh, well, I'm trusting the Lord, and I don't think you need to. Okay, you do that, homie, because right now, this is the good part of where I'm at right now. In the early part of when the pandemic started and I started having those dreams, I stocked for 2 people. So right now, other day when I went in the store right now, my freezer's full of meat. I can't fit no more meat. And I have a big, regular apartment refrigerator size freezer, and then I had a little two level, like what you do a dormitory, a little freezer on top, and then the refrigerator on the bottom that I had gotten for one of my trucks. Well, I have that in there, so that little freezer is packed to the gills. Um, so I'm good right now. Even my refrigerator, I gotta go in there and clean it out. So, and then in my room, in this hallway, and in that living room, or the dining, what's the kitchen dining area, I got those industrial shelves, one in each room, one in the hallway, one in the room, and one in the living room. All of them are filled up, virtually filled up. I got some gaps in here with canned goods. I got shelf stable milk. I got canned goods. I got enough coffee to kill a horse. I got coffee for over a year. Um, I got rice. I probably got over 100 pounds of rice. Rice I'm good on. And I probably got 35, 40 pounds of beans. I, I don't, I'm, and all, and I'm starting to stack my water again. Because Arizona, we have some water issues going on. Now, that's just drinking water. I also have collapsible totes that if emergencies start happening or they start rationing water, I can fill up these totes and set it to the side. Set it to the side. All you do is put some bleach tablets in them to keep the water good. And that's not so much for drinking, that's to wash my behind, to brush my teeth. And you don't have to do a full shower. You can pour some of that in a sink and do a sponge bath because I did it for 6 months when I fractured my ankle. So I'm seeing a bigger picture, and folks, you might think that's strange or crazy, but let me help you. I'm seeing people who I know just trying to live normally like they was living before and going to the grocery store like they was doing before. And their bills is $200-300 when it used to be 50 to 100. When I go in, I'm just getting little additional necessities, and I may pick up a can or two to add to my little prepper pantry, my urban prepper pantry. So if I want to make spaghetti, I got spaghetti down there. I can make some spaghetti. I got noodles saved up. When I go to the store and ain't nothing on the shelves for the noodles, I got noodles. If wasn't no food, I go in there and take some beans, wash a cup, take one bottle of water and hook it up. And if I don't even have capability, the electricity went out, I go out on the grill while you're playing. So you need to have, if anything, you should learn in the beginning of COVID, even if you weren't having the inklings that I had, and I feel the Lord showing me, you should have learned to stock stuff. Toilet paper, I'm good. I got a whole box case that Joe got me. He has a friend that works for an industrial company, and I forgot how many cases he got that they gave them, and he gave me one of the cases, and it's huge box. Not to mention, normally when I order from Costco and I have to get back in the habit, I had in my closet over 6 months. I haven't actually ordered, but on my next Costco order, I'm going to start doing my toilet paper orders again. But I probably got 4 months in there right now. Uh-huh. So I don't need to worry about that. Now, there's other ways to wipe your butt if you need to, but we need to start really looking at the big, yeah, charcoal. And if you have, hey, Wendy, what's up, baby? Rochelle, charcoal is good. Actually, they had it on sale at Costco. They had two big bags. I ordered that. The Mexican grocery store here, they do the lump charcoal. I get that whenever it's on sale. And if you have a wood company out in your area, like wood, if it's a grill, go out there and get some of that chunk wood because wood burns longer. Also makes your food taste better, but it burns longer than some of the charcoal and lump charcoal. And so get that because you can add that on top and it conducts heat better. Um, the other thing, I do have lighter fluid, but you also should have non ways because if you can't get lighter fluid, you need to have other ways to light. So here's some tips. One they used to have, and I need to find it. I know on Amazon you can get these little things to add in there that kind of burn. Newspaper is another way to do it. They have that little chimney thing. You put the newspaper in there, you light it on fire, and then you can dump it with the charcoal. That's another way to do it. But you also can get, this is something I learned off of Amazon watching these preppers because they do know how to do stuff. Some of them is off the chain, but they know. A cotton ball, right. Wendy, thank you. A cotton ball in petroleum jelly, which is Vaseline, seems generic. Take the cotton ball, swipe a little bit of Vaseline, put it in your whatever grill or whatever, click, light it, and it lights on fire, and it burns a long time. So that actually is a lighting source, because petroleum jelly is not really, we've been using it as a long time for skin, but it's not really the best. We use it for a lot, but it's not usually the best, but it serves its purposes. Yeah, so yep, the cotton ball, Wendy, yes. And that's a cheap way of doing it, because you could probably go to 99-cent store and get cotton balls. The other thing though, make sure it's cotton. I'm gonna tell you that too. So sometimes you see in cotton balls that ain't cotton. They do like the little balls that look, make sure it says cotton balls. Because sometimes it's made out of some other material. Leave that alone. Make sure you get the ones that are 100% cotton balls. Just want to mention that. Hmm. Yep. But yeah, there's a whole bunch. And I believe that we need to be aware um of the times we're in. We just need to. And we need to look at that on a job level. We need to look on that on a financial level. We need to look at that on a food level. It's just like one of my friends who's out here in Arizona, in Chandler, Arizona. There were people that were renting houses out by her. They had to move. They couldn't afford the rents that went up. Like I tell people, folks can judge what they want. My place is not the shining nickel. This place built in 1958. The landlord I have, the owner, he takes care of the building. So he owns, like, there's several buildings, but he takes this little building right here. I can see the crack up here where there's been settling. I can see in the door where they did their own janky way of probably dealing with termites. It's not. I mean, it was painted well. It's cement. It's cool. I got block and cement walls. My floors are all tiled. I'm gonna say this is probably between 600 and 700 square feet, maybe just under 700 square feet. It's not big, but I don't pay no whole bunch. I pay exactly right now. When I moved here, 665, now 700. Most people are paying 14, 1500 or more. And what you see, one of my friends, she sent me something for a studio apartment at this one complex was $1,400 a month. It was a studio, and I mean, I don't know if it was 200, 300 square feet. It was small as hell. You get a bed in there. I'm trying to figure out if they even had a kitchen. I was like, I, so like if this thing went for any reason, if they whatever, I would have to room with somebody out, because the money to have your one of your whole checks pays for it. One of my friends, she told me it takes two checks to pay her rent, because her rent went. I said you need to call my lady and see if she. And again, people are, and that's the other thing. People trying to floss. Even the company I work for deals with cars. I be looking at some of these the folks trying to. I'm like, what are you doing? And when you go look, if you look on the map where they live, you're like, what are you doing? Because it's about appearance and status and titles, and that's part of what's wrong. You need, guys, if y'all haven't watched this chick, it's called, and I actually like her. Some people think she's odd, but I like her. Her name is Prepper Princess. She lives somewhere here between Arizona and California. I think she's here in Arizona, but she's in one of the little suburb cities, and supposedly very financially well off. She's got a house that she bought. She says she lives on $716 a month, and I believe her based on, based on just watching her channel and some of the stuff she does. She lives off. She has like solar generators that she runs a lot of her stuff off of. Um, she shops a lot of sales as far as her sales stuff. She doesn't use a lot of her utility. The woman is she cheap as hell, but in the grand scheme, like she said, financially, she's not too worried about too much. Go check her out. Now she may not do. I don't know how she does on her food prepping, but I do know how she does on her shopping, because she shared like some of her shopping and where she shops, how she shops, and even like like I did do this today when I went and had sushi, y'all. I went and got a boba. It's a milk tea. I did that. And every so often, I go out and have to do something, because I have pretty much stayed in this house. I live in my bubble. And I believe that because I have lived in my bubble, this is why I have not had COVID. A lot of people I know who have had COVID because they couldn't keep their butt out the streets. And especially in the early part of the pandemic. Shannon has kept her behind about the streets. And so I do live in my bubble. And I'm okay with that. The only thing is I do want a Cocker Spaniel. I still want a dog. I want a Cocker Spaniel in a min pen. Those would be two. I might take a Chihuahua, but they're kind of barky. But like I love Vicky's her two dogs, the little Henry and Brandy. They love me, and I miss them. I haven't seen them in a while. Um, but I'm not ready for it. But I'm getting ready for it. But I don't know. My other concern with getting a dog in here, if food things do get hard, is making sure you also have food for your animal. So it's like I had talked to her mom, and she was telling her, she told her, she says, I think you need to start stocking food. But I said, every time she go buy a bag of dog food, she need to buy 2 or 3 extra, at least one extra. If it was me, I'd buy 2 extra if you can afford it. And every time you buy one bag, you buy 2 bags, and you put them in your closet and you stock them, and you stack up over a year worth of dog food for them dogs. Because if things go the way I think things are about to go, it ain't gonna be good. If you look at, and that's another thing, like I said, in America, we're so focused on us, we're not looking at everything outside of us. So if you look in other countries like China, Japan, and you look at all the natural disasters due to the climate change that has happened, uh, you will see that one thing that's coming, plus that war in Ukraine. Here you have Ukraine, they did a lot of grains and everything for other parts of the world. Well, now that's tied up because the farmers can't do that in a war. Also, if Russia ends up taking over, which they're going to end up probably taking over most of Ukraine, um, you don't know, because of the sanctions on them, how they're going to hold anything they do produce from this country hostage for their own country, which also may be one of the reasons he's taking over, because they know in the higher levels, they know we're going to have food insecurities, and they know it's going to be bad. Let me tell you how I know. Was it the UN or whatever, that the ones that handle the food for around the world? Right during the start of the pandemic, he did. I think you can still find it on YouTube. He did a video. Well, it was a news thing that they interviewed him, and he said we need XYZ amount of money because we need to basically. He was trying to get us prepared because he said there's going to be famine. And he said because of what was going on with COVID as well as climate, there's going to be famine. And the famine that's going to happen is not only going to impact, because we're so used to it, Africa and third world countries. Basically, brother was saying it's going to impact first and second world countries too. So all these first world countries, y'all been okay, y'all been in plenty. This is going to impact you too. And so we're about to see it, because what's happening is we've seen it with the supply chain issues. We're going to see it with the global issues. Supply chain is just the trucking and port issues. But that also is going to get more of a hiccup because stuff coming from overseas. But if I can't feed my folks in China and Japan, how am I going to export goods to you from China and Japan that you wanted to eat? It ain't happening, Captain. So there's a whole bunch more coming. Take that check to the bank and cash it in. Hey, look, take the check to the bank and cash it. There's more coming. No ifs, no ands, and no buts. It's coming. Boba tea. This is a lavender vanilla. I guess it was a specialty one they had, and I got it. It was right next to the sushi place, and I got it. Anyway, what are y'all doing for 4th of July? Y'all know I went on my rant, but please make sure y'all stock food. Right now, Walmart is probably gonna be the cheapest. I need to do a Walmart order. I have not done one. I need to do a Walmart order. And when I do my Walmart order, that's gonna really be to try to fill in some of the gaps from my canned goods. Um, like I'm looking at my stuff right now. Now I had gotten this Margaret Holmes. I'm not big on her, but what I'm gonna do is mix those cans and stew. That's the other thing. Buy what you like, because I tried her on her own. Cause I was like, oh, this was, I remember this. And like it had a lot of liquid in it and not a lot of substance. So we're gonna stay away from her. But what I'm gonna do is take the cans that I have, and when I make like stews, I'm gonna just pour up one of the cans in there. But I got garbanzo beans, so if I wanted to, I could make salad with that, or I could make hummus, my own hummus. Hominy, I haven't had. I used to eat hominy, love hominy. I've got hominy, which you can just eat like a corn. I like hominy. You use that in a stew too, soups. Eat it on its own. I need to fill in the gaps on my fruit section. Pineapples I'm good on, but my peaches and mixed fruit, I need to fill in the gaps there. I also have jackfruit, and I need jackfruit can be used as a meat if y'all don't know that for vegans. Vegans probably know it. Or vegetarians. It's a good like meat substitute. The one in the brine, not the sweet one. The sweet ones are like a dessert. So jackfruit, if you don't know, I haven't had the fresh one, but I understand jackfruit is actually what it is, fruit. But if you take the substance that comes out of jackfruit, they do something to put it in a brine and can it. And if you squeeze off the water, you can do all sorts of things. You can make chicken and like a chicken based veggie like type chicken, shredded chicken. Some people use it for like a pulled pork type or chicken based shredded chicken type sandwich where it's not really chicken, it's jackfruit. So you can use it like a meat substitute, which is kind of cool. You probably could use it in a stew too, because it does have substance, sustenance to it, and it takes on whatever you season with it, whatever flavor you season it with, it takes on that flavor. Chef Boyardee, I need to fill in the gaps there. Mushrooms, I need to fill in the gaps there. Canned mushrooms. My soup supply is pretty good. I need to go ahead and fill in more of. I got like the Hunt's tomato in the can. I've got a lot of jar sauces, so I'm good there. And I need to fill up my crushed tomatoes. Again, I had like two shelving sections of crushed tomatoes. And then I need to fill in beans, different beans. I got gaps there. And I had the chunky soup. I'm more of a Progresso soup fan. I only like certain chunky Campbell's chunky soups. Not huge on it. So I got a lot of Progresso soup, but I got a whole section of soup. Green beans, I'm straight on. I had gotten some green beans on sale at they were clearancing them out at what's that place called? Walmart. And in the early part, and so green beans, I don't need no green beans. I'm good on green beans. Um, yeah, so I got some gaps I need to work on. So I'm gonna start doing Walmart orders again and try to fill in the gaps on here. But yeah, if money is tight, I just go here to the pantry. I don't order anything, and I go to pantry. The other day, I needed something to eat, and I was like, money's tight. I'm gonna order out. 'Cause sometimes I order out, and I just went to the pantry, and I didn't feel like cooking nothing. Popped the lid, made some soup. That was breakfast and lunch, brunch. I'm delivery in Texas on Tuesday morning. Tiffany, what do you mean delivery? And are y'all stocking up? That's the other question. Or any of y'all on my page, or probably some of y'all think that baby crazy. And I don't really care if people think I'm crazy. Because, like I said, when I went to the grocery store, I had to go in and get my shot. I picked up a few items, which mainly I picked up Powerade because it was on sale. I'm preferably a Gatorade person, but Gatorade's high. And if y'all don't know, Gatorade had a shortage. I still can't get distilled water. I still cannot find distilled water at the grocery store. And every time I try to order it, they cancel it off because they don't have any distilled water. I don't know what's going on with the distilled water. Oh, I drive. Okay, Tiffany, I didn't know you drove trucks. Okay. I didn't know you drove trucks. Do you work for a certain company or are you just over the road general? You just doing, are you reefer? What do you do? Yep, and you're talking about where I talked charcoal. I'm trying to. So this little computer, I have Afterpay, and you can break up the payments in four payments. Well, God is good. Um, it's a HP. It didn't cost but 300 something, and I broke it. I did Afterpay, so that's like $90 or something like that. Okay, all right. Love Louisiana. Love the food. Well, my mother's mother and her grandmother, or my great grandmother, her mother, her grandmother, were both from Louisiana. Probably why they could cook. Ninjas could cook. My grandma could cook. She used to cook for old. They call her Old Lady Miss Tiffany of Tiffany Jewelers. And actually, my mom and my aunt still have association with the Tiffany lawyer. And actually, he represented me when I got hit by a drunk driver as a kid. Um, on my 10 speed. So yeah, that's interesting. So what are y'all doing for the fourth? What are we doing? I know. So Tiffany's delivering. Uh, Rochelle, what you doing? Wendy, what you doing? I don't know if Mr. Timmy is still in here. And my baby, what's his name? J80 CC two stroke. Him and the I love the 80 CC. That's a driver right there, man. Any Christian too, love it. Because he came in and say, "What's up, saints?" And I really say, "What's up, saints and ain'ts?" Because not everybody in here is probably Christian. And I talk about the Lord, so y'all deal with that how you deal with it. But I just pray that the Lord shows Himself to you because we are in some unique times. Ooh, I love lasagna. So my birthday, so I turned 54 on the 26th, and Joe, me and Linda, I think I posted pictures. No, did I posted pictures of the food? I don't know if I posted pictures of the dinner. So we went to a place out here called Buca de Beppo, which is a an Italian restaurant. They do like I'm gonna say they do Italian family style meals. So like what you remember how y'all would watch, and I've never been to gangster movie ones, but people watch the gangster movies and they would have the big table with the meals, that Italian meal. They do that kind of stuff. So they tell you have a choice of the small and the large. He said, "Look, I would recommend if you just order the small, don't order the large." Well, Joe and I both decided we want lasagna, and I said, "Well, let's just split it." He's like, "Okay, let's order a large." We did not listen, nor did we read. It said the large feeds up to 4 people. I mean, excuse me, the small feeds up to 4 people. The large feeds, I think, up to 6 to 8 folks. Child, lasagna came out like this, like a bar cake. It was so huge. Joe and I started laughing. Then Linda, she ordered. Linda has a very she's an African American eater. I just want to say that she grew up. She one a black person eater. I love her. We trying to get her out her comfort zone, but she's a black person eater. Fried foods, ribs. She won't do sushi. If she does Chinese, it's mainly noodles. I got sleep boogers in my eye. Mainly noodles. She's a black eater. I love her. So we trying to get her introduce her to other stuff. Mexican food and all that whatever's fried. She loves fried foods. She is so funny to me. So Linda came, she ordered the Alfredo noodles, and she ordered pizza. So standard stuff. Not me and Joe, we went for the lasagna. And then we also ordered salad. The salad was phenomenal. And then he brought out the cheesy bread on accident. So they gave us that for free. And then he brought out the garlic bread, which is what we wanted. And then I got a free dessert. So I also got $20 off the meal and a free dessert. So the dessert came in a like a martini glass that was like this, and it had chunks of brownies, like little cute brownies, all along the side. Scoops of chocolate ice cream, scoops of vanilla ice cream. We left some. We had left it on the table. Couldn't eat it all. It was 3 of us. We couldn't eat it all. Oh my god, we couldn't eat it all. So I was on. It was really good. But lasagna, I love lasagna. My dish that I usually make, if I make a dish of that similar, is not so much lasagna. It's manicotti. So I love manicotti. I haven't made it in a while because I used to make it. I learned to make it when I was in high school because I took a home economics class and I cook in high school. But it was just my senior year. I could have graduated early, but I was part of that business program, so I just stayed because if you graduate early, I couldn't be part of the program. So I took a bunch. I took weight training, home economics. What else did I take? Did I take photography that year? I think I took photography. I took a bunch of just because I had all my credits done my junior year. I could have graduated a year early. I I took just crap classes. I'm trying to remember what else I took. It was just like simple classes. I took some, just something to say I was enrolled for that year. So I did that. What else? That was it. I did that. I can't remember what else. I can't remember what else. That was pretty much it. Um, and that's so in the home economics or whatever the cooking class, that's where I learned to make manicotti. And manicotti is bomb. It's bomb. Jay, what's up? He said, "Amen." Yeah, I love my Jay. Okay, he done went to a different name. So J150cc scooter. Amen. Okay, Jay, you messing with me with the two different names. Jay switching it up. Jay, you funny. And Jay, where are you at in the country? Are you at home? Or are you on the road? Y'all see that 150cc stroke? That's usually trucking. It's usually trucking. And small companies are your best. Just preferably they're doing okay with the fuel. I had talked to Nikki, and she was working for owner op out here, and I think I had to check in on her because she was saying that she's going to leave him, um, because he was like she's broke down on the side of the road for a long time. He's riding her fuel right to the amount, and it's too much of a risk for her to be stuck out there with no fuel. She said, I don't roll like this, and what it is, and I feel sorry for him. He's A lot of people are struggling with the fuel cost for trucks, so that's another thing. The big boys are going to do okay. It's the little truckers, them babies. They gonna have a hell of a time, unless you got something really mapped out, really good. Um, they gonna have for the little truck and OTR companies. They gonna have a hell of a time, hell of a time. So yeah, no. Right now, just relax and release. And we had an hour. But I pray that all of you guys are having a blessed 4th of July, safe 4th of July. If you don't know the Lord, please get to know Him because, like I said, there are some things that are coming down the pike if you're Christian and you have any awareness, any sense within the spiritual realm of things that you need to be prepared for you and your family. And I'm going to say this because some people are like, well, you talk about the rapture. What if you get raptured? Well, if I get raptured, somebody's going to have food that they're going to need because food is going to be an issue after the church is raptured out of here. Huge. So if somebody ends up breaking in here or they can live in here, they can grab what they need and eat. I'm okay with that. For now, though, I am prepared like Joseph. And I think we need to walk in a wisdom in the hours that we're in economically and financially, for what's going on and what's coming. I understand that a lot of people want to get back to a type of normal. This is not going to be normal because we're not in normal times. Um, we are in spiritual times. A stage is being set. There are events that are going to happen, and everything right now is screaming for the rooftop that is pointing that direction. You do have Christian folks talking about, "Oh, this is a reset." Okay, I maybe it is. This is an odd reset. I've lived through some unique things that have happened in time. I don't know of anything pointing to me to the wrap up and the return of Christ for the church or the rapture of the church as well as the end times as what I'm seeing right now. And you would have to understand biblical events. And I know that I was was I listening or reading? No, I read in a devotional and it said that he unlocked their thinking. It was when Christ came back. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this real quick, see if I can find it. My battery on my phone is low. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this real quick, y'all. The disciples were having a hard. Yeah, here it is. Luke 24:45, and he went on to that's it right there. Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures. So they were having a hard time receiving the fact that he had returned after the cross, that he had been risen. And so he had to unlock their thinking. And it used to frustrate me when I would talk to people. I'm like, don't you see this? Can't you get it? Well, you can't unless God unlocks the thinking. And that takes a relationship with him. And so, and some people, it's like one of my friends, I love him dearly. Joe grew up Catholic, and I'm like, what in the hell do the Catholic people teach y'all? He don't know no Bible stories. Your mama's Catholic. Y'all do that rosary madness, and I'm not understanding. I don't agree with the rosary because it's not biblical. I don't agree with the whole praying to Mary because that's not necessarily biblical. That's not biblical either. Um, Although it did say there is a prophecy that said her name basically would be blessed, and so they use it. So this particular group actually fulfills the prophecy by saying that. But the Bible tells us we pray through Jesus for the interaction between us and God the Father. So, but anyway, neither here nor there. I'll leave that to the Lord. What are they teaching you? They're supposed to be somewhat, and I'm gonna leave it there, of a Christian type organization. How is it that you don't know no Bible stories? So, but I realize some people, it's about rhetoric and religion. Some people think because you went to a church, you sat on a pew, you grew up in the church, you Christian. That does not make you Christian. Matter of fact, in the class we're in right now, she brought that scripture up, and I basically we were supposed to reply to it, and I replied and I said that the problem is that we have a lot of people in delusion that think because I went to a church I'm Christian, because I did this I'm Christian. Just because grandma and you went to a church or you grew up in a family that's supposed to be Christian does not mean you're Christian. You have to have a relationship, and there has to be an accepting of Christ and an understanding. And right now we got a lot of people who supposedly are Christian that have zero understanding of biblical things, and it's sad. Um, it's sad. That's only a word I have. It's really sad because we have a group of people that have zero understanding of Christianity. Zero. And God bless them. The babies are clueless. Um, they don't know. They truly don't know. So, and what's coming next? So I'm happy when I see ministers like Jeremiah who are coming out with books that actually minister to the needs of people that are going to unfortunately get left behind here because they don't have that relationship, and because they want to live in what they think is the normal, and this world has become their home. They don't have the hope that a true Christian has, that Christ goes to prepare a place for me and he will pull me out of this madness. um, they don't have that belief system, and that's unfortunate. Oh, Jay, okay. Thanks for hanging in. The early CDL, I was y'all, and I haven't taken any of my old stuff down because you get to see me during a backslidden state. You get to see me during. I just believe you need to see the whole of a person, and some people don't like that I'm even within my family that I'm very open. But I believe that when we look at the Word of God, we see the lives of men and women, and we see the nasty side of who they were, and we see the God side when He got them. And one of the best examples we have is Saul, who became Paul. We see the man who killed the Christians, and then we see the man who was devoted to God. And we see him spend, and I really believe that he spent most of his ministry in prison because I believe that was the repercussions of the sowing and reaping. So he sowed something, he reaped it. I believe that was the sowing or the reaping of what he sowed as Saul. When he killed Christians, he spent his time in prison. That was part of the payment. That's why I think later on he said, I just became content because I don't know if God revealed that to him, but when I read that story, that's what I think of Paul. I think that oftentimes we want God to come in our life, and he will sometimes. The debt's been paid, but sometimes we have to reap some things on this side of the dirt that we sowed. And he helped him during that period, I really believe, But also it shows us that no matter what your status is, your situation is, can you still be in relationship with Christ? And he was a perfect example. Another ones whose lives that we can go back and look biblically at is David. I mean, David was a hoe. He was just a hoe. There's no other way to put it. And he taken another man's wife. He done got the man killed. He done impregnated the woman. Just madness. But David was truly, as I look at him, while he was broken in a lot of areas, and human in a lot of areas, he loved God. So I believe that we need to show all aspects of it, and being honest about that is good. I think we got a lot of people that want to sweep things under the carpet in families, and we need to be exposed, because if we're not exposed, nobody knows how to get freedom. A lot of times when I can look back through the biblical stories, I can see areas in my life. I'm reading the Psalms right now where I can get my freedom, or somebody feels heavy in situations like me. And I'm like, okay, listen to David talking the Psalms. Here he was a major warrior, but there were times when he was downtrodden, his enemies are up against him, and you hear him saying, I'm getting beat down, but I know, Lord, I know you got me. And I mean, ultimately, there are several Psalms where you hear him he's downtrodden, he's struggling, and he's tired, and the enemies are on all sides and aiming against him. I'm in fights constantly, but Lord, I know you got me. I still got this. There was a trust beyond trust. I mean, I'm tired. Like I said, I'm tired of, I don't want no fake Christian crap. Don't come to me with it. I don't have the energy for it. And I don't need to tell me, and not saying that God doesn't want his best for us here, but there is some reality of things here. And also, my concern is the training. And my concern is that you have people focused on here, on positions and titles, and not on relationship. You also have them in delusion that this is going to continue down the line. And right now, like I said, to me, everything is pointing to the return of Christ. I don't know what to say, because this right now, it's off the chain going on up in our planet right now, from weather to politics to um, economics to food to the net. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like they call them a haboob. It's like a storm of storms, and everything is aiming towards an end that ain't good. But y'all, I'm gonna get off of here because we've been on here an hour and 12 minutes. Jay, thank you. I didn't know you was in here that long with me, but brother, thank you for rolling with me. Um, But like I said, y'all go back to my old videos, you're gonna see all aspects of me, and I haven't pulled unless it's something I've just it's been on there a while or something like that. I pretty much keep most stuff active because I'm just me. Um, I am thinking about trying to do some podcasts through Amazon. I got to find out how to do that through Audible. I'm trying to get a little side hustle, y'all. And I'm gonna be working on barbecue sauce. Tiffany been asking me about the barbecue. Was it Tiffany? Somebody been asking about the barbecue sauce. So I'm be working on that. Bottles. I'm gonna try to order the bottles I want to use. It's not gonna be the same size that I have. It's gonna be probably 8-ounce bottles. Is what I'm gonna do. I had bigger bottles, but I'm gonna go down in size. So and they come with the metal lids. So I'm gonna get in here. I gotta play the sauce because haven't done it in a while. I have my recipe written down, but I need to get out there and do that. Linda been waiting. And I also do seasoning. I do a seasoning mix. My seasoning mix is good. My seasoning is so good. When I first did it, Vivian called me and she like, sis, you know that seasoning you had when you cooked that meat? You got any more of that? I can make you some more. Okay, I need that. And that's when I was in my other apartments and the old apartment. And that was seasoning, girl, the seasoning famous. She love it. So like I said, I need to do some videos out on the grill. I got a tripod where I can set up. I need to probably get a little bit better set up. And I'm still struggling because I really want it's the iPhone 13, 14, whatever phone it is. I still got my old school one, and I'm on consumer cellular. I left AT&T. I got an old one for the iPad, and I'm gonna pay that off and call it a day and do this. But they gonna get their money for the iPad because AT&T, when I would leave out of here, service was janky. That was weird. Over the road, it was okay. It was a lot better than the ghetto service I had Boost, but it was janky. But now here in the valley, and I'm here pretty much, The service I have is a combination. Consumer cellular is a combination. It's the old people service, I call it. It's a combination of um what's the name of it? It's a combination of T-Mobile and AT&T. They should use their towers. So it's pretty good together, those two. So it's in, and T-Mobile, if you don't know, is Sprint. So that would be T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T. So you have those three that they're using towers for. So actually, honestly, I get better data connectivity with them than I get with AT&T. When I was AT&T on my own, if I went out, and Joe said, he said, "Shit, I'm not getting." I said, "I always had a problem with the data with AT&T here in Arizona. I don't know why. Phone connectivity was fine, but my data sucked. I'm trying to get like internet and stuff. Now with consumer cellular, winner, have no problem. If I went to sushi place and she says, "Oh, the internet here is not good," I just use my data on my phone, perfectly fine. Connect was able to, and pretty swift. It would just be top ticking with AT&T, and I couldn't get frustrated. I couldn't even do. I was like, okay, this don't matter. We'll just go. I already called because sometimes I like to pull stuff up on Yelp. Anyway, y'all be blessed. Again, if you see this, give it a like, thumbs up, share it out. If you don't know them, please get to know them. Y'all can look at the community board. I try to post either readings or daily devotionals, sometimes prayer stuff. So look at that. And when we get the barbecue says, oh, I'm gonna be reaching out about shirts because I didn't have people here ask me for some of my little sayings on the shirts. So I'm gonna be reaching out about shirts because I got people asking me about shirts and some of the sayings I say on the shirts. And yeah, the first couple is gonna be, yeah. And I still gotta remember the one Danielle wanted. Danielle was like, "I want, when you do that shirt, my ninja, I need one of them shirts. I need a shirt that says that on it." Oh my God. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, good night, y'all. Peace. Love y'all. Peace out.